There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Canon Library. My name's Brian. I'm the librarian here at the Canon Library, and you heard the man. There were stories, and they're all true. Guys, this is going to be my review. Finally, I've been trying to get this out for the last several days, and I had first I was sick, and then I didn't get a chance to finish the book until late last week, and then tried getting the video uploaded yesterday, and the video file got corrupted, so I'm having to redo this video again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get this one uploaded. So guys, like I said, this is my review of the novel Aftermath: Empire's End. Now this is the third book in the trilogy of Aftermath, written by Chuck Wendig. The first Aftermath wasn't received very well, wasn't exactly what a lot of us thought it was going to be. But then the second one, Life Debt, came along, and Life Debt was great. It was universally loved. It was far superior to the first Aftermath book, and it left us hanging with a cliffhanger as far as Jakku goes. So now we've got Empire's End. This is the final book in that series, in that trilogy. So guys, I'm going to jump right into this. This is going to be a non-spoiler review at first, and then I'll get into some of the details later on. But I'm not going to ruin the end of the book, even if you have read the book. I'm not going to do that on this video. But I am going to break it down a little bit once I get through my non-spoiler review of it. I really enjoyed this book quite a bit. I still place it just one step below Life Debt. To me, personally, out of this trilogy, Life Debt was the shining star of this trilogy. But this is definitely up there with it. It's definitely superior to the first Aftermath book. I enjoyed this one greatly. Now going into this one, I was really excited because we keep seeing in new canon references to the Battle of Jakku, especially with, obviously in The Force Awakens when we see the wreckage on Jakku. We kind of hear about it just a little bit, from J.J. Abrams leading up to the release of The Force Awakens. But then we touched on it a little bit in Lost Stars. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. It's being touched on a little bit in the Poe Dameron comic from Agent Terex. He was there. He was an Imperial at the time. And the game Battlefront. Other than that, we really don't know a lot about the Battle of Jakku, what led up to it, what transpired, why it even happened, and we obviously knew the outcome of it, but we didn't know the effects that battle had later on in the galaxy. Now, this book does a great job of leading up to it. We're still following Nora Wexley and Tammin Wexley, his droid Mr. Bones, Jas, Jom, and Sinjir. Yeah, we're still following the same group of characters. And to be honest, at first I did not like these characters in the first Aftermath book. I said it wasn't very well received. And they were characters you really didn't care about until you got to Life Debt, and then you're like, oh god, now I'm invested in these characters. And it's no different in this one. Right off the bat, at the beginning of the book, the Empire is found at Jakku, and gears start getting, wheels start to turn, getting things ready for the New Republic and what's left of the Empire to fight above Jakku. Now, this book does a great job of making us care about the characters again. It does a great job of bringing in a couple of, several classic characters, really. We start to get a glimpse of Han and Leia's relationship a little bit. Obviously, if you've read the first two books, you know that Leia is pregnant with Ben right now. And you get a glimpse into like their personal life, outside of the Senate and outside of the New Republic. There's a lot of foreshadowing as far as what happens to Ben, and from one of my buddies I've been talking to, Richard J, he's been talking to me for months, telling me he thinks Leia's gonna go dark in episode 9 and all this stuff, and not necessarily go dark, but start to show anger issues and stuff like that, much like Anakin Skywalker did in the prequels. And there's a couple lines in this book that kind of hint towards that, and it backs up exactly what he's saying. I found it humorous. Timon wants to go back to Jakku so bad in this book, and he tells Han we have to go back to Jakku, and all I can think of is Han getting irritated in The Force Awakens when he's like, why does everybody want to go back to Jakku? Timon, Rey, I mean, they all want to go back. And it's kind of humorous because if I remember right, he even says in the book, we're going back to Jakku. So it's very interesting to see how that kind of came full circle. Just little nitpick stuff like that. This book, like I said, leads up to the Battle of Jakku, and we finally get to see the battle in all of its glory. We see what led up to it. We see exactly what transpired in the moments before and after, and it's phenomenal. Now, this book does answer a lot of questions that we have been wondering for a while. Not all of our questions, obviously, but it's definitely a book that needed to be released, and it's, even though it wasn't quite as good as I wanted it to be, it's still good, don't get me wrong. It's just not as good as I was hoping this would be, like the big hoorah of the series. But it was still a great novel. A lot of questions get answered. A lot of stuff you start to see, okay, I see where that's going. I see where that's going. Stuff like that. And so you can piece it together the rest of it with your mind. And obviously here before long we're going to start getting a lot more of material, of Star Wars material, leading between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. We've got 4 novels so far that took place in between those periods. Well, 4 full novels. Yes, we have 4 full novels between Jedi and Force Awakens right now. So we've got the 3 Aftermath books and Bloodline. But anyway, this book is great. I loved it. It was a great read. It took me a little while to read it, not because of the book itself. It's just because of what was going on with me, being sick and having to work and all this other stuff. But I'm really glad I finally powered through it. This is an excellent read. But there's a couple things I want to talk about that are, I don't want to necessarily say spoilery, but if you haven't read the book and then you read it, you're going to be like, oh, well, I knew that was coming. But there were a couple little moments in this book that kind of made me chuckle a little bit, and I kind of wanted to talk about him for just a minute. Mr. Bones is a character that at first I didn't think I was going to like him at all, because he's a prequel era battle droid, and it's just, but the more I know a lot of people hate Mr. Bones, but I kind of enjoy him a little bit. And then there's one part, this is what I was talking about, it may possibly be a spoiler, but he's malfunctioning toward the end of the book. He's in the middle of the Battle of Jakku, and he says something about attacking this Imperial base, and then he screams out, commentary, why don't we just destroy the meatbags, master, whatever. And there's a nice little reference to HK-47 in Knights of the Old Republic. I thought it was funny. He even does the whole commentary at the beginning of it, saying the word, and I lost it. I laughed reading that part of it. Like, yes, there's the reference to HK that I've been wanting. What else in this book did I want to talk about? Okay, there's the squadron in here, Phantom Squadron, is, I'm assuming, derived from EU. God, I can't remember the name of the squadron now from the EU that Wedge had, but it's right along the same lines. That was a nice little throwback, I guess, a canon version of that now. But this is a great read, guys. You guys definitely need to pick this one up, especially if you hated the first Aftermath book and you didn't give the second or third one a chance. Give these a chance. Once you get through the first one, they're a lot better, and they're characters you care about at this point, and you see how they kind of tie in with the bigger story of the Star Wars galaxy. I personally love this book quite a bit. So, guys, those are my thoughts on Star Wars Aftermath. I know it's not a whole lot to go on, but I'm trying not to give too much away because I know some people haven't got to read it yet. But it's a great book. Now, since we're on the subject of novels right now, I thought it'd be a good idea to let you guys know that the next canon novel coming out, I believe on April 11th, is going to be Star Wars Thrawn. This is one that I'm really looking forward to. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's going to be 3 different editions of this novel. The one that I've got here, the white cover, is the normal base. I mean, they're all the same. They all have the exact same story, and essentially the only difference is the cover, the dust cover. So this is the base novel, the base version of it, the most common one that you're going to find. It's literally just the novel. I didn't have the other pictures put up here, but Barnes & Noble is going to be doing an exclusive version of this novel as well. Instead of the white background with black letters that say Thrawn, it's going to be a black background with white letters that say Thrawn, which personally I like that cover a hell of a lot more. There was rumors that the binding on the book, the edge of the book, was going to be blue. Apparently that's not going to be the case. I was hoping it would, but anyway, you have this version, and then you have the Barnes & Noble version with the black cover, and it's going to have an exclusive poster inside of it of Thrawn. And then there's going to be another version of this at Celebration 2017 in Orlando, where it's going to be an entirely different cover. It's going to be just Thrawn's face and no text whatsoever. So, guys, keep a lookout for these. You kind of pick and choose which cover you're going to want. But they've told us there's nothing different in these versions of the books at all. So, guys, that's the next one coming out. Comes out next month. I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. I've applied for a review copy, so hopefully I can get it before it releases, and I can get the review out before you guys are able to get a chance to get your hands on it, give you my thoughts on it. So here's to hoping that Thrawn is going to be good. So, guys, that's all I really have for right now. Like I said, that was my review for Empire's End. So, guys, make sure to visit us at our website. It is StarWarsCanonLibrary.com. And our Facebook page, you simply type in Facebook Star Wars Canon Library. It'll pop up there. It's the, where is it? Go right there. It's the little logo with the Death Star and the Rebel Alliance logo. And if you guys have any questions, anything you want to know about Star Wars canon, anything that is canon, isn't canon, anything like that, guys, email us at StarWarsCanonLibrary@gmail.com. And I've been working on updating the website a little bit more. So we've got the timeline on the website, everything in chronological order so far. And anyway, guys, that's it for right now. So until next time, guys, this is Brian signing off, and may the Force be with you.